I've heard that life is what you make it. I say make room to grow. I'm your host, LaWanda Dockery, and this is the Make Room to Grow podcast. It all started with a dream about growing food, and who would ever imagine that growing food would lead to me learning about personal growth and development? Well, it did, and I want to bring you along for this beautiful ride. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, Grow Nation. I hope this finds you all well. And guys, we're going to have a nice, beautiful weekend. I don't know about you, but the warm weather gives me nostalgia. I can't wait until the weather breaks. And I know we're at least a couple months away from that. But I have this, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? You know, I'm going to date myself with this, but I don't care. Remember when you were younger and you watched the movie The Cat in the Hat? I'm 44, so I'm actually blessed to be 44. Well, do you remember The Cat in the Hat, the cartoon, the original one, where everything was a musical in it, not the movie? The two kids in the beginning were just staring out the window, ever so bored. Their mom had left them home. It was raining and they were just bored out of their minds. That is me right now. I can't wait for the weather to break. I can't wait for the ground to warm up so we can get these plants in the ground. My son bought me a tent. I told you all a couple episodes that he was going to buy me an indoor tent. So he's pushing me toward doing that. But there's nothing like being outside, getting some vitamin D, getting your hands dirty, and growing something. Which got me to thinking, I know I'm always thinking of something. And that's the purpose of this podcast. I want to share information about growing food, number one. But I also want to give you personal development and growth tips that I extrapolate from growing food in the garden. I think it's a great thing that God has built in this thing in seasons. Depending upon where you are, there's some zones that can garden all year round, no problem. I happen to live in the beautiful Northeast and we get 4 seasons, and there are marked differences between each season. I'm blessed for that. He knows me, he knows his daughter, and knows that my attention span is not the greatest. So I need there to be a built-in cycle of not being able to do a thing in order to keep me engaged in it, if that makes sense. So the fact that I can't go out in the dead of winter and plant something keeps me chomping at the bit for when I will be able to plant something. You know how we are as humans. If something's always readily available, we tend to take it for granted. But if we have it only in certain times of the year, if it has an exclusive element to it, we really cherish it. So while we're waiting for the weather to break, we're preparing. We're not just sitting on our hands idly. We are doing work. We're ordering our seeds. We're allocating space. Do all that now so that when the time comes and the weather breaks, you'll be ready. We don't have to wait just passively. Waiting is an active process. So while I'm proverbially sitting in the window with my head on my hands, looking at the rain outside, just like the Cat in the Hat original cartoon, I'm actually going to have my cayenne peppers in our grow tent just to see how it fares in there. I'm going to start a series of microgreens so we can at least try to harvest some in the meantime. Those only take a couple of weeks and you'll have a harvest. Why not do something? That's it, guys. I just want to encourage you. I know it's hard to wait. I know we're in anticipation. Everyone who's listening to this, you may be in anticipation of something totally different. You could be anticipating a shift in your life, a new job. You could be waiting for something specific to happen. But I want to encourage you that while you are waiting, I know it's hard, but prepare for what you're waiting for. All right, guys, until next time, I want you to be intentional about those areas in your life where you are going to make room to grow.